Really, whatever's quickest. Yeah, really, whatever's quickest. I'm number 7 in the IBF, and they were going down the list to fight Frank Sanchez for the mandatory for the IBF. So that's something that could be a possibility. I was number 1 in the WBA. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? As long as I still stay busy, I think I'll, jump back up there and be in the mix real soon. I mean, very quickly. So we're looking to come back in February here in England and make another statement.
Those are the words of Michael Hunter. And he made a good point, a very interesting point about the IBF. It went from Moses Atoma to first Efe Ajagba, then Moses Atoma, then Daniel Dubois, now Frank Sanchez. So it's basically the list is going down. And if he's 7 on the list, that's the 4th person, then the 5th, then the 6th, then himself, the 7th. And I think what's happening, and I'm not liking this, but what's happening to me, the British fighters are turning into the American fighters. What do you mean by that, Kurt? Simple. They're now they're getting ranked high, or, like Fabio Wardley is the WBO heavyweight champion. So you got a British champion again. Congratulations. But you have guys like Danny Dubois. Have guys like Moses Atoma. These guys were once upon a time supposed to be wanting to fight for a title or wanting, to mix it up with some of the best. Now, Moses, for credit to him, he is fighting Jermaine Franklin. But I think someone like Frank Sanchez or Michael Hunter is a lot better or a lot more competitive than Jermaine Franklin. Jermaine Franklin is a proven durable fighter. He's not a proven skilled fighter. You know what I'm saying? He has short arms. He fights to get inside. And someone like Moses, with his fast hands, I think is going to have his way with him eventually. So that's not what you want to see. You want to see Moses in there with guys like Frank Sanchez or Michael Hunter. You know what I mean? Those are more credible, skilled, proven fighters. And I'm seeing the trend of, them snatching Moses back out of the way and then putting him in there with Jermaine Franklin. Then Fabio Wardley, we don't really know what he wants because Usyk has dropped and gifted him a belt pretty much. So he gave that belt up so Fabio could become the WBO. But what is he doing with it? Who is he fighting? On the IBF end, of course, you have those guys looking for someone to step up and fight Frank Sanchez. Now, Michael Hunter saying he's going to have to do it. But where does it leave us? It leaves the Americas fighting the Americas. You know what I'm saying? And then you can get the opportunity to take on the big man, Alexander Usyk. But then, you have all these other British fights that I feel that they could match up almost like a 5 versus 5, because we got a lot of hungry, eagerly waiting fighters in America waiting for fights like Jarrell Miller, like Michael Hunter, like Frank Sanchez. Then you have all these other guys over here. You have Moses Atoma, you have Fabio Wardley, you have Adelaide, you have who else is over there that is credible? Lawrence Akali. You have these guys, and now Lawrence, of course, has been mandated to fight Moses, which Moses already has a fight. So, you know what I mean? Lawrence could actually fight one of these American fighters. So, you're having a lot of this kind of Al Haymanish type behavior in the UK, which is kind of strange, because the thing about British fighters, which I liked, is these guys were willing to get in there with anybody. You know what I'm saying? So we're getting some of that, but that's what happens, though. I think, of course, when you do have all those options, and you have all of the talent like Frank Warren supposedly has, so it gets like that at times. But for Michael Hunter, I just think Michael Hunter needs to get busy, stay busy. You know what I mean? Because if he doesn't, he's getting older. and the activity versus father time comes knocking, that could also happen all at the same time. And that's a crucial combination for anybody that wants to prove themselves and fight the best. He's only lost once, and that's to the guy that is on the top, and his name is Alexander Usyk. So, I think people take that under advisement and swerve Michael Hunter. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh shit, that's Michael Hunter. That's not a guy that's slow or flat-footed or short-armed, or you know what I mean. He doesn't have many kinks in his armor, so to speak. He's proven, he's seasoned, and he knows what the hell he's doing. And I think that's why people, avoid him. So I think Michael needs to really be in the spotlight, because these American fighters, I feel they're getting overlooked, or they're ducking them. But that is good news. Hopefully the IBF, if Richard Sanchez, Richard Torres, if he passes the opportunity by, there's now the 6th and the 7th. I don't know who's ranked number 6, but hopefully, I think Michael should send a letter to the IBF and saying that he's willing to fight Frank Sanchez, if or just say he's available to fight Frank Sanchez, because they're looking to mandate for the belt. That's his closest option. I don't know about the WBA. I don't know what's going on over there. But yeah, I think that's his best option. You guys tell me what you think of Michael Hunter, the bounty, stating that he wants to stay busy and he would love to fight Frank Sanchez for the mandatory position for the IBF championship. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.